Hello, and we're back. And I also like to say sorry here. When there's also going to be saying sorry because I will be fast forwarding in the future of this, maybe if I get to that point. But anyway, sorry if you notice that there's a big gap between the time that I recorded for the previous part and here. It's because I need to go to the washroom while recording, but also then my recording got corrupted, so I had to delete that part and didn't record here. So, here we are. Alright. I'm not a child. We say this, but... Afternoon, I received an email. It was from Marika. Oh, Marika, that's strange. I don't think she ever emailed me before. Check the message. Today at 5:30 after class, meet me in room 3B. Come alone. Just then, I remember the words of warning that Rise had passed to me. Good. Don't accept invitations from anyone you don't know, and always think twice before going along with something. Of course, Marika wasn't someone I didn't know, although I didn't exactly know her either. However, I always had a vague suspicion that Marika wanted to get rid of me. So for a moment I was suspicious and wondered what should I do. What finally broke the tie was remember Marika's visit to my room the other night. She had definitely been acting strangely. Are you righteous? She had even cried with dead fish eyes. To be honest, I was worried about her. That's why I decided to go see her. Alone, huh? The classroom would already be deserted around 5:30, but the strangest of that condition managed to elude me. Guess it's time to go. And the fast forwarding begins. I am sorry. So sorry. I'm so sorry. No. It's not what it looks like. Okay. I may have fast forwarded a little too much. I'll be honest with that. What the hell was I going to do now? What was the right thing to do? I knew what happened now. Marika had set a trap for me. Just never thought she would go that far. Even for a performance that took a lot of courage. Was she that desperate to drive me out? That by itself was substantially shock. But she really was acting strange. Marika was crying. She had been crying even before the guardians appeared. I could understand if she started crying after they arrived. It would be a performance to make it all more convincing. But if she was doing it before the witness showed up, then it probably wasn't a performance at all. Even if after they showed up, her tears didn't look fake, though. Maybe I was just seeing what I wanted to see. In other words, even while she was setting a trap for me, she was fighting with her conscience about it. Or as it seemed. As I realized that, my seething anger started to abate. But I was still left with a single question. Why was she so desperate to drive me out? She really believed that I had to leave Asnes. She wouldn't be that upset about it, right? Marika hated what she was doing, that's why she was crying. But Marika was a student council person I admired and respected by everyone around her who could be forcing her into it. Or she decided for herself as student council president that it was her responsibility, but she had said that the student council was neutral on the matter, so that couldn't be. With nothing else to do, I rattled those theories around in my brain, but I couldn't just find the answer. I was hungry. Speaking of which, wasn't it about time for dinner? Despite my situation, my stomach was growling aggressively. It was almost funny. Marika's perspective. Has no one found it suspicious that think of all the chances that could have happened, why did it happen now? That's the thing. Focus. Right there. Headmistress' words seemed to be mostly for my benefit. But to me, it was different. I wanted to make sure that they went easy on Messiah. She felt like such a fool, even though she set the trap herself. Hey, at least she's kinder than you, frickin' dragon lady. It was terrible irony. That's the thing. She didn't realize, oh, what if he went to frickin' prison? At the word police, Marika's entire body started to tremble. I should have known this would happen, yet it didn't occur to me until now. It seemed so unlikely. I looked around, dazed. It would be awful if the police got involved. What could I possibly say to change the headmistress's mind? Headmistress thought long and hard on that. In the end, she nodded. I suddenly felt cold when the chairman's eyes, which were always fairly gentle, were now fixed on me with chilling gaze. Before she could finish, the door opened with a bang and a crowd of students flooded in with Rise at the lead. He could, like anyone could knock in this situation. Oh. How could she be so certain? I disorderly watched the younger student known as Solo Decole. The other fanned out behind her as they entered the room. My voice trembled at the unexpected harsh tone. Her eyes fell silent at the glance from the chairwoman and turned her attention back to it. This time her voice resounded with the fury of heaven. In that moment, the world went dark. The door finally opened and a voice said, "Come out." You guys. As I walked down the hallway, I was surprised to see my friends gathered there. They all crowded around me. Yeah, no, I'm fine. I laughed just a little. No, you're just all acting so worried. It was like they thought I had been roughed up or something. Tears welled up in my eyes. I was starting to feel a little shaken up. Chiho. Without waiting for my answer, the guardian turned on her heel. I wonder what she wants. Ah, right. Right. Chiho. And Bannerbell. I had to press my hand to my forehead and hold back my tears. I was so grateful for their kindness. In the year before I came to Vesnas, no one would have ever put their faith in me like this. I was so afraid of the deck lectures I never tried to interact with anyone. So I spent all my days alone. But now it was different. When I was locked away in that cramped little room, I started to feel anxious about what was going to happen. But when I looked around my friends' faces, I started to believe that it would work out somehow. My voice is now starting to go deep for some reason. I don't know why. Despite her usual joking manner, Tammy was dead serious. The truth. I hope that you do. The guardian looked back at me from the corner, around the corner. Right. I reached the headmistress' office where she and the chairwoman sat along with Marika, who was, for some reason, passed out on the sofa. As we entered, the headmistress spoke to the chairwoman without even sparing me a glance. The headmistress nodded, but didn't look reassured. Perhaps she just wanted the excuse to complain. At the sound of her voice, Marika opened her eyes and sat up. When she realized I was standing there, her eyes went wide. She tried to stand, but the headmistress stopped her with a hand. I spoke, interrupting the headmistress. The headmistress snapped at the words. Rice ignored her.
マリカ様はクリスチャンだったのですか？私、
黙りなさい。形式上、私からも聞きます。お好みます。
Yes, ma'am.
事件を起こしたのか、起こさなかったのか。
It didn't happen.
では、議論は平行線になるわけですね。
The headmistress, for some reason, let out a triumphant laugh.
隊による福音書第7章には、人を裁くなとあります。もちろんそれは正しいのですが、御国の未だ到来しないこの地上では、正しいことがその通りに行われないこともまた事実です。現実として人は人を裁かなければなりません。この場合の判事は誰でしょうね。リセ、あなたは誰の裁きなら納得するのですか？あなたの大好きな世論、生徒たちの層、それによる裁きであるなら納得するのではありませんか？
I realized then the source of the headmistress' triumph. I managed to encourage some support, but my chances against Marika were still low. Who was lying? Only the two of us knew the truth.
ピラトの審問さながらというわけですね。釈放されるのはイエスなのか、それともバラバなのか。
キリストになぞらえるのは感心しませんが、まあそんなところでしょう。
では、民衆を誤った方向に導いたカヤパは、校長先生、あなたになるわけですか？
何とでも言いなさい。ボートの結果は何人も否定できませんよ。
待ってください。そもそも証拠はあるのですか？
証拠？
ですから、体液といったようなです。
Headmistress turned to Marika seemingly unconsciously. Marika hunched over on the couch, looking quite small indeed.
マリカ、確かに証拠があれば、この人たちもグーの音も出ないでしょう。あるのですか？
いえ、ありません。一斉に取ったの。
そう。まあ、やっていないという証拠もありませんからね。
そんな、母さん、ないことの証明は悪魔の証明だわ。できっこない。
証拠を持ち出したのはリセの方よ。だから私は生徒たちに判事になってもらおうと言っているのでしょう。ではそういうことでいいですね、理事長。
In the end, she never answered.
悔しいわね。結局、終始校長のペースだったじゃない。
Rise barked in irritation as we left the room. I was permitted to return to my room for now, but I walked with a guardian in front of me and one behind me. It felt like a prisoner escort.
でもあの人、相変わらず頭が切れるわ。悪知恵かしらね。
綾香、校長先生をそのように言うものではありません。
あら、私は校長先生に対してではなく、母親に向けて言ったんですよ。
Left the empty school building and went outside. As if defiant of the glamour inside, the night outside was quiet. The buildings stood here and there, silhouetted against the darkness, felt bleak and foreboding. In a way, it never did during the day. I wonder if everyone else knows what happened.
とっくよ。バーセーヌのネットワークは光の速度で情報を伝えるもの。
I see.
いずれにしろ、報道部の仕事もあるわ。確実に全校が知るということ。だから校長先生の案を拒絶するのはちょっと難しいと思う。じゃあどうすればいいのよ。ねえルリコさん、どうしたらいいと思う？なんかいい考えとかない？
Erica was usually quite on the ball about things, but this time she just turned her eyes down silently.
もちろん証拠を探すしかないわね。証拠ってけど難しいんじゃないかしら。いつこの言う通りだわ。ええ、だから残る手段としては 様に正直になってもらうしかないと思います。でもそれも難しいわよね。まあ明日また話し合いましょう。それまでにみんなも案を考えて了解。わかりました。了解で。
Sure. You're still following me?
当然だ。ドアの前で見張りに立たなければならないのだから。
I was under house arrest as well. I was allowed to leave my room in the dorm. I managed to avoid expulsion once before, but things weren't looking good this time. I kept faith that it would work out though.
謹慎というとこの前と同じ処分ですが、接見はできるのでしょうね。
接見？
マサヤさんはせいぜいが容疑者です。対する私たちは弁護団。弁護人が接見を許されないはずがありませんから。
校長先生に確認しておきましょう。
We gathered in my room and turned to face the others. Thank you, everyone. Knowing that I have allies makes me feel a lot better.
仲間はいいものですよね。試合でも団体戦の方が燃えます。ただ事件のことでは私も弁護側に回りますが、やはり紅バラカの一員なの。まあまあいいじゃない。こんな時くらいは原理原則から離れても。それもそうですね。留学生とはいえマサヤさんはバンセーヌの一員です。生徒が敵と味方に分かれるのは限られた時だけにしましょう。
I just about Ruriko took Risco's hand.
さあ皆さんも。
We all put our hands together once more.
マサヤさんを救うため精一杯頑張るわよ。はい、頑張りましょう。
The next day, the school was swimming with rumors about the incident. What she could make out, it sounded like the overwhelming majority trusted Marika. In fact, she heard no voices in supporting of Messiah.
調子がおかしいのかしら。
She tugged at her earlobes as she thought about it, but it seemed unlikely to improve things. She expected this to be the case, but seeing the reality with her own eyes really was a shock.
私ったら少し不安になっているのかしら。あなたらしくないわよ、リセ。まだ勝負は始まったばかりでしょ。
Despite her words, she could hear her clear out her sense of anxiety. If they held the vote now, they would definitely lose. She couldn't deny that.
マサヤさん、謹慎になって帰ってよかったかもしれないわね。
People might accuse him directly and expose him to the rumors would just depress her. She could hear them even now. There's no getting around it. I guess that's just how men are. It's right, men are old beasts, it's like the headmistress said.
何言ってるのよ。3ヶ月もクラスメートとして接してきて、どの口がそんなこと言えるのかしら。
Normally Rise wouldn't be afraid to voice her thought, but she remained cautious today. The last article. Why's that? I had just never seen him so scary before. Violence and assault, they're not that far apart. I see.
全然違うじゃない。
Anyways, still wasn't convinced that the treatment of the peeping Tom could really be called violence. But there were more people linking the two incidents than expected. By the break of dawn, the next day, another problem had come out. It was just Marika's popularity that they were fighting, but also people doubting Messiah's very character.
これは絶対に良き行いであるはずなのに。
And get ready for the next part.